see my screen. And the agenda for today, right, for today's session, just like previously, we are not able to connect to the virtual machine. Post creating, there was some issue while doing some deployment. I will show you that, and post that, like I will continue with the storage part, and how to connect this storage with the standalone tool, and how to upload the data using AZ copy. We will try to complete all these topics for today, and this is agenda for today. And let me go with the virtual machine first, and then I will go with the remaining topics. Yeah, and yeah, this is just now I had created this virtual machine, and once we get into this virtual machine, right? This is something like Windows, and you can able to create like whichever the virtual machine you want, and like this is a Windows virtual machine, and you can see something like restart, stop, and start, and already this virtual machine is started, and you are having the option to start, and if you are having some any issue in your virtual machine, you can able to restart. It is similar to your laptop, and these virtual machines are created in cloud environment, and everything will be managed by themselves. Like inside that virtual machine, right? You can able to install like whichever the application, whichever the servers or anything, whatever the things you want, and you can make that like a what I can say, like you can add that like a server. You can do something like that instead of maintaining in your local, and you can create as big as you want, and you can configure like whatever the security things you want. And I don't want to dig in detail because we are not going to create all these things. Just we are going to use like whatever the service has been created by the infrastructure team. Okay, because the virtual machine is just for we will connect directly. We don't have nothing over there. And here, right, how to connect this virtual machine? Basically, like while creating this virtual machine, right, we need to provide a few details like the virtual machine first subscription and resource group and virtual machine name and in which region you want to create. And like if you want to create this virtual machine in free of cost, right, then you have to choose this as a central India as your location. Okay, and then post that you have to select the Windows 2022 data center Azure edition. This is for free. And post that like you can have to create select the size, something like 2 CPUs and 4 GB memory. This is for free of cost. Okay, and like there will be some minimum charges. You can stop like if you are not using that. Okay, and these are the details which we need to give. The subscription is common, like just this central India you have to select, on location, and on OS part, right, the image side you have to select as a Windows 22 uh, data center edition, and here you have to select something like a B2. Okay, and like the rest you can select the default for just for testing purpose. And post creating this account, right, you have to click on this connect, and we will have something like the bastion and the connect. Okay, and like the bastion is something like it's a different method to connect this one. And RDP is something like remote desktop, and bastion only we can able to browse within this browser. Additional tab will be appeared here. That's it in bastion. But in here, right, you'll get a different method. Like there will be something like a remote desktop protocol. This one. For this, first you have to download that, then post that. First, we need to download this RDP file. Once we download this RDP file, right, now we need to open this RDP file, and let me select something. Don't ask me his connection to this computer. And after that, right, see, this is the username which I gave while creating this storage virtual machine. Okay, and post that. Here we need to give some password. We need to give some password. Whatever the password I have added while creating this virtual machine, same password I need to give here. Just yeah. Now the password, with the help of the password, it is accessible. Just I'm clicking on yes. See, this is your brand new virtual machine. Okay, and like in this virtual machine, that you can able to do whatever you want. Okay, and you can able to access this. You'll get some Edge browser, and basically in real time, right? We don't have the access. We can't able to access the client details, client web browsers or something like the databases directly in our virtual machine, in our IP address. So what we will do, like we will connect to this virtual machine, and inside this virtual machine, we can able to access like whatever the applications or whatever the sites or like whatever the databases we want. Okay, you can able to connect from here, from this, and you can search something like Azure portal login, and you can provide like your details and post that you can able to connect here, and you can utilize that virtual machine. And here, right, you can able to install some servers. Here, Windows Administrative Manager was there, right? If I open that, here you can't see something like IIS, something like that. You can't see something IIS. Okay, let me install one server on top of this. And first, before that, let me go here. Let me type. Yeah. See, if I type something like a localhost 8080, I'm not able to access any application. Let me install one application, one server on here. Just I'm installing one server. Next, here I'm selecting IIS web browser, web server, add features. Next, next, next. Let it install. It will take 2 or 3 minutes to install. Yeah, the installation is got succeeded. And let me close this one. And now let me open this. See, now you can see something like IIS. The Internet Information Service was installed. And if I click on this, you can see you can host some applications. Okay, see, so many things was there. The authentication, the directory browser, and the compression, the error page, and the HTTP response. So many was there. Okay, this is related to the DevOps side, which we don't need much information. Just for your knowledge, I'm showing this server how it works. And now let me go here. Now let me refresh this now. See, now we are able to access this browser, something like the local host. Okay, and previously which is not possible. If I stop this one, right, it is started. If I stop this one, now you can't able to access. See, something like this. Okay, we have to start. This is the browser. Like this. We can able to host the application on top of the servers. And this is all about the virtual machine. Like nothing is there to learn much here. Okay, and in Bastion, right, it is similar to that. And here you can see something like a RDP. And in Bastion, it is something like where you can able to connect, just like it will be created another tab next to this. RDP is something like a remote desktop protocol, and like the Bastion is something like it will come under the browser tab. It might take a few minutes. Okay, we'll come back later. Okay, and let me get into this storage accounts. As we discussed, like we haven't get into in detail in the storage account side. Like first we had discussed the high level and like how the storage, like what all the things we can able to configure, and how the access will be managed and how the data will be managed, and like how this lifecycle management works. And we have discussed all these things in detail. And just we have something like the data storages, different types of data storages was there. Something like the containers, file share, queue, and table. Okay, and whenever you want to upload, like in as a data engineer, you are going to focus more on the containers. Okay, and now here, right, we have something like already I have created something like a input containers. Like this, you can able to create a multiple container as per the requirement. Okay, you can able to do that. And inside this container, right, inside this container, basically we will upload whatever the files we want, we will upload over there. And in this container, right, we are having so many additional features was there. And on container level also we have something like the IAM, access control management. And here we have something like the diagnosis and solve problems. Like if you face any issues on container level, you can describe that issue, and based upon that, you will get some resolution steps. By following those resolution steps, you can able to resolve your issue. Or else, if you are not able to resolve that properly, then you have to raise a ticket to the respective IT team so that you will get the solution from them. And we have something like the SaaS. SaaS already we have seen, right? SaaS already we have seen on account level, but you can able to create SaaS on container level and file level as well. Okay, if you want to grant any specific access on container level, you can able to do that. Okay, for that also you can able to do only to specific container. And if you give the access, right, with the help of the access keys, all containers will be accessible, which is not required unlike there will be some security breach. Because of that reason, we can able to provide an access on container level, so that like based upon the permission which we are granting to that particular SaaS token, based upon the permission only he is going to access, and he's going to work on that part. Okay, and in data lake, already we have discussed something like the data lake and data lake Zen, right? Sorry, data blob and data lake Zen. And just discuss first we will discuss like what is the difference between the blob and data lake Zen. Already I have mentioned something like blob is something like a binary large object which is mainly designed to store unstructured data, and it is designed to store unstructured data, but it is not something like only you can able to store unstructured data. You can able to store whatever the data you want, but it is designed for unstructured. And the data like Zen 2 is mainly designed for big data purpose, big data. And we will compare, and we will see like what is the difference between the blob and data lake Zen 2. Yeah. If you observe, this is a blob service. And if you observe here, this is data lake Zen2. This is data lake storage. Okay. And now we will compare like what is the difference between the container and data lake Zen2 container and blob container. Okay. First, let me go to containers. Let me create one container. We need to give container name in lowercase. It won't accept the special characters and as well as the uppercase. See, I have created this container, and if you observe the view, right, there is quite different. It is quite different. Okay. I think they have added this as a new feature. Okay, fine. Okay, here. And if you observe the image, right? If you observe this adding directly, like they have added something like new feature. And here, if you observe, this is a container for the blob, and if you can see the logo here. This is for blob. And if you see the data lake Zen2, this is the image for data lake Zen2. Okay, the image quite different. And here, right, you can able to upload, like you can able to upload in both the files. You can upload whatever the files you want. Whatever the files you want, you can able to upload in both the storages. And but like it is mainly designed for data lake, and like this is used for the Databricks for Unity catalog purpose. The data lake Zen2 will be used for Databricks Unity catalog purpose. Okay, and now we will see like let me select like one by one. Let me upload one file into the blob storage. Okay, just now I have uploaded one file here, and in this file, right, we can see so many changes and so many differences. Okay, if post selecting, all these options got enabled, all these options got enabled, and first we will go with the access, and here it will have three different types of access. One is private and the blob anonymous read access for blob only, and anonymous access, did access for containers and blobs. See, this is private access. This is only for file level access, and this is the access on container level. And but based upon these, right, you can able to secure your file. You can change. You can choose like whichever the option you want. Whichever the option you want, you can choose. And now you can see something like the delete. You can able to delete this file, and if you want to copy, and you can copy and you can copy paste somewhere else, and you can rename the file. And we have something like the acquire release. See why this will help us, right? When you acquire this lease, right? When you acquire this lease, right? So you can't able to do any changes on your file. See, let me acquire lease, and now the lease was acquired. And if I open this, right, you will get some pop-up message on top. See, this blob has an active lease, cannot be deleted or edited. Click here to more about lease. See, if you once you acquire this lease, right, you can't able to do the deletion, or you can't able to do something like the modification on top of file. And here we have something like the edit columns. You can able to do that on file level. And if anything is exist, these are properties, the file properties, and the view and edit. If you want to view the file, or if you want to edit the file, you have to select this. And if you want to rename, you can able to rename. And if you want to clone, creating the duplicate of the file, you can able to do that. And the copy the URL. And if you want to copy the URL of this file, we can able to do that. And if you want to download this file into your local system, you can able to do that. And one more thing, the change tier. And previously, right, while we are creating this account, during that time we have discussed something like cool, cooled, and hot, cooled, and cooled, something like that. We have discussed, right? But here, we appropriate access tiers. Yeah, here, right, basically we will have to change the tier of this storage account. No, I'm not required. It is not optimized storage. Okay. I will show you here. Here we can able to change. Yeah, see, here you can able to see a change like something like hot, cool, and cold. And previously we don't have the option something like archive, but we'll have this archive option here. Archive in the sense like once you archive any file, right, you can't able to access that file until you rehydrate that. Okay, and based upon your accessibility, you have to choose the appropriate access tier. Something was happened. Not access. And this is something like the generate SAS. You can able to generate a SAS token on file level as well. File level as well. And this is something like a break list and creating the snapshot. And if you want to take the current status of the file as a snapshot, you can able to take that. And if you enable the versions, you can able to whenever you do modifications on your file, right, then you can able like whenever you do any changes on your file, right, then that will be created as a latest version. And if you want to trace back to your previous version, right, you can able to do that. That is also possible in this blob storage. And here, right, same like we can able to do some directories. Let me add something like input. Okay, like this we can able to add some directories and post that. We can let me upload some file. Just have uploaded some file. See, like this we can able to create, we can organize the data. We can able to organize the data. Yeah, we can able to create some directories here, and inside that we can able to organize the data. And this feature was not exist previously. Like whenever we were creating the blob storage, right, during that time we don't have this feature, but like recently they have added this feature. They're adding the directories. We don't have this feature previously, and this feature only exists previously for Ditlec Zen2, the adding directories. And later, like they have added this feature readily. And we have something like here. If you observe something like the manage ACL was there, but if you observe this blob storage, right, we don't have that option here. The manage ACL was not exist in settings. Okay, while uploading any image, right, during that time also we are having different types of blobs here. See, something like block, page, and append. Already I have mentioned the block is something like it is mainly used for the files or images or some raw data. Further, the blob is mainly used, and for the log data purpose, the append will be used, and for some transaction kind of data purpose, the page block will be used. And this is already we have discussed the past. And whatever the blobs you are seeing here, though, like here you can able to see only two types of blobs. Let me click on this. Yeah. If I click on this, the blob type, right? See, only append is there and block is there, and we don't have something like a page blob in data lake Zen2. Only that is exist in the blob storage. That is existing only in blob storage. Okay, these are the quite different between the blob and the data lake Zen2. Okay, and we are having the blob data lake Zen2 is designed for a big data purpose, and the blob is designed for the binary data purpose. And like here you can able to organize the data properly. In both the you can able to organize the data properly. And here I have something like additional features, something like ACL, which is not exist in the blob storage. And what are the options we have seen over there? Right? Same options will be there here as well. The properties, the V1 edit, rename, clone, copy URL, download, access tier, and generate SaaS, and manage ACL, and acquire list, and delete. Okay, and here, right, you can see something like the hot here, right? And here you can able to access this data. Let me upload some file instead of the image. Yeah, I have uploaded some Excel file. Let me open this file. Edit. No, this is a screenshot. Edit. Yeah, there was some data was exit. You can able to see that. And if you want to edit this data, you can able to do that. See, you can able to do that, and you can able to access this data wherever you want. I don't want to save this one. Now what I will do, on top of this file, just I will change the TS. Let me change the TS one by one. Now I will change this into cold. See, now the access tier you can see something like a cool. Okay, now I am able to access. Still I am able to access the data. See, still I can able to access, and if I want to do any modification, I can able to do. Okay, I want to discard again. I let it change again one more tier from cool to cold. See, access tier again we can able to change, and after changing the tier also we can able to access the data, and we can able to do some modifications here. See, I can able to do edit still. Now what I'm doing, post changing these three tiers, now again I want to change from cold to archive. Change tier from cold to archive. Let me save this. See, now the access tier got changed from cold to archive. See, you can't able to access your data because the data has been moved into archive tier, and if you want to access the data again, you have to make the tier as a cold, cool, or archive. Sorry, cold, cool, or hot. Then only if you change any of the tier, right, from archive to cool or cold or hot, then only you can able to access. Until unless you can't able to access this data. And for this, the tier which we are moving from archive to cool or cold, right, that process we will call it as a rehydrate. See, change tier from archive to hot. See, this is a rehydrate. See, the rehydrating a block from archive to hot or cool may take the several hours to complete. It will take a lot of time, and for this process, right, if you want to move the data from archive to like hot or cold, this is some charge, like they will charge for that. There will be some charges for that. And here also you'll have something like the standard and high. For now, I will select something like the save high, and let me see. See the archive rehydrating to hot. See, now we have changed that here from archive to hot. And we have seen something like ACL. And this SAS, right? SAS already we have seen. Whatever the options we have seen over there, same options will be there. Okay. And here we have something like the signing in keys, the key one, key two, which we are saying in the key level. The access policies. Here, right, the access policies you can see here. Here you can define some policy name, something like just I give some name, and just I will give only the read. Just I give something like the data read. Okay, data read. I give this name, and now I have selected only the read permission, and this must be started from today, and it should expire by 23rd. Okay, let it be default in UTC time zone. Okay, I have created this policy successfully. Now let me go to this. Save. Let me save this. Okay. Now let me go to this SAS shared access signature, and now instead of providing all these details, now just I will select this policy. Okay, whatever the options, whatever the details you have provided in this policy, those details will be populated by default here. And post this, if you want to select this particular storage account or container from specific IP address, then you have to add that IP address here. And here you can see some protocols, HTTPS and HTTP. Always we need to select the HTTP only for secure access. And post this, you have to generate this SAS token. Okay, and sorry. Okay, post this, you can able to like after creating this SAS token, right? And if you again open, you can't see that access SAS token again. You have to copy that SAS token somewhere else, or else you can't able to access post creating the. You can't able to come back and copy it once again. It's not possible. And like whatever the details you have provided and whatever the SAS token got generated, you have to copy paste that SAS token somewhere else. Okay. And if you come back and again, if you try to access, you can't able to access the same. You can't able to see that. Okay. And we have something like the manage ACL, and these are something like the what I can say the file level access control. Okay, on directory root directory level, and you can see something like the owner and the owning group and something. All these details we can able to see. Okay, and who is the owner, and we need to select that owner, and we need to grant the required access to him. Unlike who is something like the owning group, who owns this, and like what permissions is required to them. And first, again, you have to select this. You have to click on this edit, and you have to select the respective group here, and then post that you have to add the specific permissions you have to select. And again, you have something like the other, and whoever is coming from apart from these two users. And if you want to grant them to read access only for other users, apart from these users, other users can able to read these files. These are something like this access control list. This will call it as a access control list. And here only we will have three options, something like a read, write, and execute. Only these three options we can able to see here. And this access control list is not exist in Blob storage. We can't see that here. Okay. And post this, you have to save that. This is the owner, like based upon the owner, like for each and every team. Like there will be something like the architect, he will be the owner, and the group under who is working under him, right? He needs to give some permission. He needs to set the permission, something like that. And the properties, once if you click these properties, you can able to see all the available options here. And this is something like the metadata. Metadata is something like you can add the metadata here, the key and value kind of data. This is all about the containers. Any doubts so far in this? Any doubts, any questions or any queries? File share. File share is something like already I have discussed this. It is something like if you want to access this, it is the file share is something like network shared, right? Network shared, right? And which is exist in cloud environment, and just we need to mount that into with our local machine, so that we can able to access this file share in our local system, and we can able to copy paste, and we can able to download or copy into our environment and to cloud environment, whatever, like just it's a storage, and we can able to mount this into from our on-premises system, and you can able to maintain whatever things you want, and whoever like anyone can able to mount from that particular team. Just I will give a session file share. Yes. Here, right, as I mentioned, like if you select something like a large file, right, then you can see something like the 20,000 IOs and 100 TB capacity. This is the maximum limit. This is the maximum capacity of this particular file share, and this is the maximum capacity of the IOs. And here, right, you will have the option to select. This is the maximum, but you have the option to select your limit. Okay, just I'm giving the selecting the next backup. This is the default, and if you select this the backup, right, then only you'll get all this option. If you unselect this one, then the remaining options will be gone. Post selection selecting this one only, you'll get this backup details. And process like we have something like the review and create. The validation is going on. Once the validation is complete, then we can able to create this file. The way which we have created the container, similar way we have to create this one as well. See, this is the file share, and here you can see something like the maximum storage, but you can set the limit here as well. And what is the limit you want from this file share? You can give that. Okay, and here you can see some the performance, the backup, and SMB protocol, the identity based access. Okay, and if you want to connect to this file share, we will have different types of machines, right? Something like the Mac, and we have something like the Linux and Windows, and this is the drive letter, and you can choose like whichever the drive you want. And here you can see something like how you want to connect either the storage account or the Active Directory or the Microsoft Entra. And if I click on this, you can see some script, and with the help of this script, and you can able to access this. And this script, right, there will be some prior prerequisites, and the script will check to see the storage account is accessible via TCP port 445, and which the port SMB user. Okay, if this port is will be accessible, then only you can able to access, otherwise it's not possible. Okay, and this is the one, and like not only for one, we can able to create for multiple services. Like for Linux, there is a different method, and this is a script for Linux, and this is a script for Mac OS. This is a script for Mac. Okay, you need to run this in your local machine, then only you can able to connect. And here you can able to upload whichever the files you want, Okay, and whoever having the access to this file shared, they can able to connect and they can access this file. And you can choose browse whichever the file you want to add it here, and you can add. And obviously always there will be something like a business files will be there, business files will be there. Only business files are the required business files, like something the higher people what they will do, like they will create, instead of something like, we have something like a SharePoint, right? SharePoint, it is similar to that only, SharePoint only. And just we will put all our files over there, and whoever having the access to that one, right, they can able to access something like that only. And file share is like the file share is exist on something like the SharePoint is exist on cloud, but you can able to clone this into your local machine, and you can clone, copy, or do other things you want. This is something like a refresh, and you can add the directory, whichever the directory you want. Just you can add something like that, and if you want to delete this file share, you can delete. And here also we have something like the access TS. You can like here we don't have something like the hot and cold and archive. Like we have something like the transaction optimized and hot and cold we have. And transaction optimized is something like the, we don't have the option and something like archive here. We have transaction optimized, hot and cold, only three, these three we have. And transaction optimized is something like the beyond hot. uh, the frequent like even something like every day or every hour, something, these kind of transaction optimized, it is fully transaction optimized. Okay, there was something like a frequent read and write operations was performed in this file share, then obviously we need to choose this transaction optimized. And both side we have hot and cold. Only these three options we have in this TS. And here, right, as I mentioned, we can edit our quota. And here we, instead of what I can say, 100 TB, and you can choose something like I will give 1 TB. Just I have selected only 1 TB of one TB of quota. You can edit, and that is the maximum. That is the maximum quota, and this is the required code, and this is a share URL, and this is a redundancy, and this is a configure modification, and the subscription and resource group and location, and the storage account and subscription ID. All these things you can able to see. These are the maximum and the IOs. Okay, and these are different types. Diagnosis and problems is a common for each and every service, and you have to describe the issue. Post that you can able to see. And the IAM is common, like identity access management. If you want to grant, revoke, or give some additional access to some of the applications, you can able to give from here. And this is something like the browser. Browser is something like whatever the files you are uploading here, those files will be what I can say selected from here. You can able to select from here. And the connect option you can see from here, and upload. And if you want to add some directories, you can add it here. And if you want to refresh this particular file, you can able to do that. And if you want to delete any file or share, you can able to delete, and you can able to change the tier, and you can able to change the quota as well. And if you want to give the if you want to provide any feedback to them, you can able to give. And this is here we can able to upload our files. Or else you can use some other tools to upload the file into this network. And the snapshots, if you want to take the snapshot of this current browser, you can able to take, and you can access your backup as this is a backup. We haven't done anything, like just it's something like a default. And if you want to take the backup, you can able to take that manually. And we have something like a queues. Queues are mainly used to add some message. Let me give something like FMCG. See, this is the URL for this queue, and let me open this one. Let me click on this add message. See, here you can able to add like whatever the message you want, and you can give whatever the details you want, whatever the message you want, and you can give something like the expiry date and the expiry date, and if you select the message never expires and it is not going to expire. Okay, like this you can add the message and post adding the message, right? You can able to see something like the URL, and we can able to configure, we can able to add this URL in our application, so that we can able to access this message from from there, and we can use like wherever you want. And this is something like the messaging storage service. We don't have much here in this in queue. And we have something like the table storage. Table storage is something like, as I mentioned, we can able to create some key value pair kind of data. If you want to add some key value pair kind of data, you can able to access this one. Here, right, this we can't able to access from here. We can able to access this from our service, from the standalone tool. There you can able to select that, or like whatever the services we have created and whatever the things we have organized, we can able to see from there. Okay, and yeah, here, right, you can add the entity. Here we can able to do, but here we can't able to do. See, this is here. This is a properties, and you can add something like the name. This will become as a entity, and this will become as a uh, okay. This will become as a value. Like this, you can add something like this. Okay. Okay, something like this you can add. If you want to show this kind of information, it will be used to show this kind of information, the key value pair kind of data further. Okay, this is all about the services which we have. And if you want to access this storage, right, this storage service from your the standalone tool, like here you need to download this service. You have something like the open in Explorer. If I click on this open in Explorer, already I have installed. Already I have installed, and it will open. Sign in with Azure. We have to sign in to this account. There are some multiple ways to sign in to this account. Okay, I will discuss that before showing like how to download this one. And like if you want to download this storage explorer, right, for that first you have to select this URL, and you need to click on this download. And once you click on this download, right, it will take you into the browser. And if you click on this here, you can see something like overview, features, download and related products, and next setup, and just click on this download. And once you click on this download, you have to click on this drop down, and you have to select like based upon your mission, either Mac or Linux or Windows. And once you select this one, it will be downloaded. And with the default options, you have to click on next, 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 and install. And once you install, you have to access that from this what I can say, like from this browser. Okay. Now what I will do, you can sign in. Like you can sign in by using some credentials. By using the credentials, you can sign in, or else instead of signing in, we are having so many options to connect to this server. Okay, connect Azure Storage. Instead of like if you select the subscription, you have to give some URL, the browser ID and password, or else I can select this storage account, and I will use something like the SAS key. Let me go here and let me generate some SAS key. I will select all the options for now, and I will put the date on started 21, right? Let me change this date into 22. Okay, HTTPS based upon the key. Yeah, you can see what all the details it is asking. The display name. Display name. I want something like this. Is storage name. I want on display. And the connection string is required. This is the connection string. Let me copy, paste it here, and let me click on next. Next, connect. See, the successfully added new connection. Okay, this is the one which we have created and which we are trying to connect. And see, like whatever the services you have created over there, you can able to see that from here. Close. See the log, web, input, everything. And in file share, we have created some in FMCG, FS, and in queues we have created something like FMCG, and tables we have created something like FMCG. See, all these things you can able to access from your browser from this standalone tool. And we have something like some additional features here. Let me open some this input folder container. Yeah, see, you can able to download. See, while uploading, right? You don't have the option to upload files. Like you don't have the option to upload folder, but here you can able to upload entire folder. Okay, you can able to upload directly full folder. Okay, and if you want to open any file, you can able to upload file here. Okay, and like if you want to add any folder, you can able to do that. And if you want to preview this, you can able to preview. But it will be like if you open, right, for preview it will use this standalone tool. But like if you open, it will use something like if you open it, it will use your local applications. Local applications. For example, let me open this image. See, it is transferred. It is transferring. Okay. Some local application will be opened. See, the WPS photos was opened here. Okay, it will use some local applications, and you can add new folders, and you can select all the files, and you can copy them, and you can paste it somewhere else. Sorry, yeah, and you can clone them, copy them, clone them, and you can rename them, and you can, if you want to move from one file folder to another file folder, you can able to do that, and you can manage the access and all, and you can select properties and all these features we have. And if you can delete the files, and everything will be there, and like some additional features will be there here, and which this is something like the user friendly, and which we can able to access from our local machine. And something like you can able to open something like multiple tabs. See, multiple tabs I have opened, I can access in between. Okay, all these kind of features I have. Okay, which is not exist in there. See, I can able to copy paste from there, from one storage account to another storage account. This is all about the storage account, and how we can able to access from the storage from the local machine. And tomorrow I will show you this AZ copy one. And like with the help of the AZ copy, basically like if you have some data in your local mission, right, local mission, and if you want to upload that into your what I can say, into Azure environment with the help of any one of the CLI tool. I will use AZ copy. With the help of the AZ copy, I will copy the data from local to Azure. I will show you that. I'll show you that in detail. And that is something like not only for Azure, and with the help of that, you can able to copy from one cloud to another cloud, and from one storage account to another storage account, and from one container to another container. All these things are possible with the help of AZ. Like the regional pay, right? The LRS, ZRS. I will show you that. Sure. I'll show you that and I'll close the session for today. Yeah. If you scroll down here, see you can see these are the regional paid regions. Okay, these are the paid regions. And if you select the primary region as the Australia, something like the Australia 2, the Australia Center is the paid region to the Australia Central 2. And if you select something like the East US, and the West US is the paid region. And East US2 is something like the primary one, and the paid one is the central US. Okay, before creating the storage account, and we have to verify like in what is the secondary region of that particular uh, region. Just you have to verify. I will paste it here in the chat. You can access that just for your knowledge. Okay, these are the paid regions. Okay, these are Azure region list. In these regions, all your services like exist like across the globe. And if this is the primary, and this will become as a this will act like a secondary region. This is the region list for the GRS, Global Redundant Storage. And accordingly, you have to select the primary and secondary primary one, not secondary one. Secondary one will get default, and the primary one you have to select accordingly.